Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to webinar knowledge sharing, a Railtrack connection, monitor and early warning system. First, let us thank God who has given us guidance so we can be here to attend to this event. My name is Taruni India Anissa Meliana Safitri from Indonesia Land Transportation Polytechnic STTD, and this is an honor for me to be the master of ceremony on this wonderful event. Please allow me to give a warm welcome to the Honorable Head of Human Resource Development Center on Land Transportation, represented by Head of Education Division, Mrs. Gloria Novita Christine, His Excellency, Transportation Attaché Den Haag, Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat, Railway Safety Expert, Mr. John Echter, our distinguished guests, Director of Indonesia Land Transportation Polytechnic STTD, Mr. Pandu Yunianto, Director of Indonesia Railways Polytechnic, Mr. Mutakin, Indonesia Railways Polytechnic Lecturer, Mrs. Armita Puspitasari, and of course, all our beloved participants. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is singing National Anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Kindly to all the participants, please stand up. Thank you for singing Indonesia Raya, and please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to hear the opening remarks, which will be delivered by Head of Education Division of Human Resources Development Center on Land Transportation. To Mrs. Gloria Novita Christine, the time is yours.
Thank you, Meli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Reading of Virtue, Salam Pro Prestasi. Esteemed guests, distinguished college and valued participants, it is an honor and great pleasure for me to deliver this warmest welcome to the Rail Transport Safety webinar. On this wonderful day, we will revolve around the crucial theme of Railtrack condition monitoring and early warning system. Please allow me to start by expressing our sincere appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Mr. John Esther, a distinguished railway safety expert, for his willingness to deliver his knowledge of this crucial subject. Furthermore, I also warmly welcome to this quiz Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat, the Transportation Attaché of the Netherlands and an alumnus of STTD Bekasi. His presence today emphasized the significance of our discussion. I also acknowledge his effort in making this event possible. In addition, I would like to deliver our gratitude to all director, leaders, officials, and lecturers from the Land Transportation College. Your presence enriched the depth of our discussion. I'd like to express my appreciation to all the attendees, particularly the cadets, PTDS Bekasi, PKTJ Tegal, Poltekton SDP Palembang, PPI Madiun, Poltrada Bali, and also the instructor of BPTD Mempawah. Your participation show your dedication to advancing transport safety. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the statistic, the reduction in railway accident in Indonesia since 2016 is truly commendable. However, we must not be satisfied. Even though our railway service become better, we still commit our current focus of railway accident. It is important to learn more about topic of Railtrack condition, monitoring, and early warning system as the real action of proactive safety measures for ensuring safe train journeys. Railway safety responsibility is collective responsibility of all stakeholders in the transportation sector. Together, we must collaborate and work hard to achieve the highest safety and reliability standards within Indonesian railway system. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would like to extend our congratulations on joining this webinar. We hope all cadets and other participants can actively participate and make this moment an opportunity to enhance our expertise in railway safety. Let's unite with an open mind and shared commitment to making our rail transportation safer and stronger. By working together, being creative, and taking action, we can aim our shared goal to zero accident. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Gloria, for delivering an enlightening speech. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin to our main agenda, let us do the documentation by taking a photo group. For the first pose, to all participants, please give your best smile. If ready, I will count down. 3, 2, 1. All right, next pose, please clench your fists. We are ready for today's event. All right, 1. Okay, now we are ready to go to the main agenda.
And the speakers for today, there are Mr. Novan Wahyu
Hidayat,
as transportation
attachment of the house,
and Mr. Yon Hector, a railway safety expert, going to do
to the
presentation.
and discussion will be guided by our moderator, Mrs. Armita Puspitasari. But before that, please allow me to read Mrs. Armita Puspitasari's short bio. Mrs. Armita Puspitasari graduated her bachelor and master degree of English education and have finished a short course in University of South Carolina, United States. Since 2019, even now, Mrs. Armita is an active lecturer in Indonesia Railway Polytechnic, major lecturing experience in English and TOEFL preparation, and have published many journals, research field in English and education. And now I will hand over the event to our moderator. So please welcome Mrs. Armita Puspitasari.
Well, thank you so much, Anissa Meliana, for the time. Well, Honorable the Chief of Transportation Human Resource Development Agency, Honorable the Chief of Human Resource Development Center of Land Transportation, Honorable the Head of Education Division of Human Resource Development Center of Land Transportation, Mrs. Gloria Novita Christine here, and then the Director of Indonesian Land Transportation Polytechnic STTD, the Director of Tegal Road Transportation Safety Polytechnic PKTJ, the Director of Indonesian Railway Polytechnic Madiun, the Director of River Lake Ferry Transport Polytechnic Palembang, the Director of Bali Land Transportation Polytechnic, the Head of the Pembawah Land Transportation Education and Training Center, and Honorable Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat and respectable Mr. John Akhter, the lecturers, the cadets, and all of the participants. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Armita Puspitasari. I am a lecturer of Indonesian Railway Polytechnic, and it is very great experience for me to be a moderator meeting with the amazing speakers in this afternoon. Has come with us Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat from Transportation Attaché of Netherlands, and also Mr. Jon Achter from Railway Safety Expert. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, railway transportation is currently a form of transportation that is developing very rapidly in Indonesia. With the presence of WUS as the first high-speed railway in Indonesia, it adds the development in Indonesian railway sector, of course. But somehow, some of the accidents happened during 2024, also already mentioned with Mrs. Gloria. It happened in Indonesia Railway right now. But with this, of course, the railway safety is very important and is one of the concern of the Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia to minimize the accident happened in railway. Therefore, today we will discuss about Railtrack condition monitor and early warning system. Okay, we're going on to the first speaker. We have a very handsome here, Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat from Transportation Attaché of Netherlands. And allow me to read the information, the short information about Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat. Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat was born in Jember, November. Okay, Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat was born in Jember, November 2nd, 1978, and he studied master program in STGR ITB in 2006. He has working period for 24 years, and his position now in Transportation Attaché at KBRI in Den Haag. And he has so many work experience, training analyst at Pusbang SDM Perhubungan Darat in 2014, Cooperation Coordinator at STTD Bekasi from 2015 to 2016, Academic Affair Coordination at PKTG Tegal in 2017, and Program Evaluator at Biro Perencanaan from 2018 to 2022. But before starting to the presentation, we would like to see his video about Attaché of Netherlands. Wow, very incredible video that we have watched. Hopefully there will be cadets or lectures exchange someday to learn about railways in Netherlands soon. Well, here is what we have waited for. Our first incredible speaker, Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat from the Transportation Attaché of Netherlands. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, it's clear enough. Okay,
Yeah.
how are you, sir?
Very good.
Okay, good to
Today is
hear
very
that.
clear.
Yeah, that is very good. Good to hear that. Okay, so here we come the presentation, and you'll have 20 minutes to give the presentation. I'll let you know if you have more than 20 minutes. Okay, and all the time is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, moderator. Excellencies, Ibu Gloriani Novita Christine, to be a head of education division. And then Excellency, Honorable the Director of STTD, PTDI, Bapak Pandu Yunianto. Selamat sore, Bapak. Excellencies, the Director of PPI Madiun, Bapak Mutakin. Selamat sore. And all honorable participants. And I think today it did exceed my expectation that the participants not only come from the PTD and PPI Madiun, but also come from Inland Waterways Polytechnic in Palembang and also PKTJ and Poltrada Bali. So I think the number of participants very huge, and hopefully my presentation can give new insight, especially for cadets regarding the railway system. Good afternoon, everyone. Selamat sore. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank for the committee, especially for Ibu Gloriani Novita Christine, for inviting me to join this webinar, for arranging this webinar. So I think it is very good experience for us to learn with the native speaker from international speaker. So hopefully I would like try to invite some speaker from another area, not only railway, but maybe road safety, road traffic, and so on. So in this webinar, I would like convey my presentation, and the topic of my presentation is the railway system in the Netherlands. Could you help me to share the presentation? Yeah, next. Yeah. This is my first slide. This slide, I would like to explain about the data, some data about the Dutch railways. We know that the railway system in Netherlands is very advanced. I want to show you that there's a long time for the Dutch railway to establish, and we can recall that in Indonesia there are so many railway systems that developed by the Dutch era, and until now there are so many railway systems that we can use until now. So the Dutch National Railway Company, or we can call it NS, Nederlanden Spoorwegen, established in 1837, and gives some tasks or responsible to develop the railway network in the Netherlands. So the first line opened. It is a short line between Amsterdam and Haarlem, 2 years after the establishment of the NS. And until now, the railway network in Netherlands is very dense. Almost every area can reach by the railway system. So it's easy for passengers. It's easy for us to go everywhere in Netherlands with railway. The data show that the number of length, the length of the road, more than 3,000 kilometers, and the double track is almost 2,000 kilometers long. And 2/3 of the railway network is electrified, more than 2,000 kilometers. So also there is special route for the good transportation carried out by the railway, especially for Port of Rotterdam to some area, especially in industrial area in some area in Netherlands. The railway system in Netherlands until now more than 400 million passengers per year use the railway. So I think the role of the railway in Netherlands is very big to transport not only passenger and also the goods or freight transportation. And the number of freight transportation reach more than 36 million tons per year. And the track gauge is standard gauge 1435. If we compare with the gauge in Indonesia, mostly not standard gauge, yeah. I think it's narrow gauge. I think this is the developed in Dutch era, but almost the track gauge in Netherlands is standard gauge. So I think it's quite make me confused. And there are almost 400 stations, more than 4,500 bridges, and 13 tunnels. Next. Yeah, as I said before, that the railways network in Netherlands is very dense. The coverage is very good. Almost every area in Netherlands can reach by the railway system. So if, for example, if I want to go somewhere, another city in Netherlands, or Den Haag, from Den Haag to, for example, to Groningen, so I can use the railway system, and then I can continue with some public transportation like bus. So I think it's very easy. So the target or the focus of the government is not to develop the new line, but how to improve the efficiency and capacity in terms of the services and also the frequencies. And about the freight transportation, there is a route special for the freight transport connected from the west area to the east, especially from the Port of Rotterdam, because the Port of Rotterdam is the biggest port in Europe. Connected to the IJmuiden, there is a big steel company, Tata Steel Company, and then we can continue, the railway systems continue to German territory. Generally, for the good transportation routes, use the same track with the passenger routes, but there is a special routes for the freight transportation, Betway route that's opened in 2007. Okay, next. So now I'm talking about the operators. If we talking about the operators in Indonesia, I think there is a sole, only the lone operator, that is PT KAI. But in Netherlands, there are some operators that operate the railway system. But the biggest one is NS, Nederlandse Spoorwegen. If we comparing NS, I think it is same with the PT KAI. So owned by the government and the biggest one. So NS give the right to manage the main road from one city to another city in main road. But for the urban suburban area, there are some operators that manage the rail transportation like Arriva from Germany, Connection, Ibus, Keolis, Netherlands, and so on. So the scheme is there is a concession that granted by the government for the operators to operate the railway. Mostly is 10 years, but I don't know. Maybe there are another concession that more than 10 years. And for NS, it will end in 2025. So after the end of the 2025, the tender will open by the government, so operators can apply the tender. Operators will give a concession, will receive the concession from the government to operate the railway system with some obligation requirements regarding about the frequencies, punctuality, cleanliness, and also safety. And specifically for urban and regional transportation, the tender is open to public operators except Amsterdam, The Hague, and Rotterdam, because for the three cities, they have own operators. So the city government has their own, it's like perseroda, you know. Perseroda is perseroan terbatas daerah gitu ya. It's like MRT or Transjakarta. So for the three cities in Netherlands, Amsterdam, The Hague, and Rotterdam, they have their own operator. Next. And now we are talking about the operational speed. Yeah. If we're talking about the speed in Netherlands is various speed, yeah, from 80 until 300 km per hour, but mostly the speed limited from 130 until 140 regarding in terms of the safety. But there are some lines, especially for the international route, for high-speed train that operate more than 200. For example, from Amsterdam Central to Paris Gare du Nord, we call it Thalys or Eurostar that operate with speed more than 200 km per hour. Okay, next. Yeah, now we are talking about some institution or organization that have responsible in developing the railway system. Now we are talking about the ProRail. So ProRail is a company appointed by the government, Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management, to carry out some activities as follows. So ProRail is appointed to build, manage, and maintain railway infrastructure, including the tunnels, level crossing, power supply, and signaling. Yeah. And second is to manage and maintain railway facilities, for example, station. The third is increase network capacity. Fourth, to manage the traffic control and coordination related to disaster response. So ProRail is the main responsible is to manage and develop the infrastructure. It's like tunnel, level crossing, station, and so on. So it's more the civil work. And to do the obligation, to do the responsibility, the ProRail will get a concession from the government in carrying out the DATIS. For now, the concession is until 2025. So the government will give money to the ProRail to develop, to manage, to maintain the infrastructure. Nah, in construction and maintenance activities, ProRail will assign some tasks, some DATIS to several selected contractors. So the task not only done by the ProRail itself, but ProRail will assign some DATIS to several contractors. For example, Strukton. Strukton, one of the contractors that help ProRail to do some activities. And the ProRail is a limited company, and the sole shareholder owned by the government. So this is the ProRail. Yeah, I don't know. In Indonesia, I think there is no company that appointed by the government to do the infrastructure work. Yeah. Maybe mostly is done by the state-owned company like BUMN. Yeah. But in Netherlands, ProRail is appointed by government to do the civil work. Next. And now we are talking about the NS, Nederlandse Spoorwegen. I think it's similar with PT KAI. So NS is responsible to provide and manage and maintenance the rolling stock. Yeah. So NS is the largest railway company in Netherlands. I think it's very, very has a long history. Yeah. So currently, SS given the sole right to serve the main network until 2025. So for the main network of railways in Netherlands, NS appointed by government to service the main network. This right must be accompanied by obligation related to lost station accessibility assistance for the disabled, parking facilities for bicycles. So there are some requirements from the government to be carried out by the NS regarding related with the accessibility should be a good accessibility and connectivity, and also they have to provide some facility for disabled, facility for the parking for bike, and so on and so on. So NS annually prepares travel plans including performance agreement regarding punctuality, providing information, and handling crowds. So NS should prepare and make a plan how to operate the rolling stock. In terms of punctuality, they have to punctual every time. They have to provide some information about the journey for passenger, and also if there is a crowd, because mostly in the station in Netherlands, it's too many passengers and it's very crowded. So how NS can handle the crowd? Now also NS also involved in developing the station and the area around in TOD concept. So later I can show you how to develop the TOD in Netherlands. So NS give NF appointed by government to develop the station and also the surrounding area. And NS should pay track access charge to ProRail. Yeah, I think it's similar scheme with the Indonesian scheme. Yeah, TAC NS pays to ProRail regarding use of the railway network. And same with the ProRail, NS should share ownership by the government. Okay, next. Now we are talking about the rolling stock. Yeah? Rolling stock, mostly I think there are 3 types of rolling stock in Netherlands. The first one is we call it the IC, intercity. Yeah. The second is sprinter. Yeah, intercity is the picture you can see at the above. Yeah, blue and yellow one. There is 2 floor. Yeah, 2 floor train. Yeah. So you can choose. You can sit up and down. Yeah, you can the first floor or the second floor. And intercity only connected and only stop at the main station. For example, if connection between Den Haag to Amsterdam, intercity only stop at Leiden, the city of Leiden, and then the Schiphol Airport, and then Den Haag, Amsterdam Central. And the second is Sprinter. Sprinter is the white and blue. Sprinter is quite different with the IC because Sprinter almost stop in every station. So the number of stations that serviced by the Sprinter is much more than the IC. So if you want to make a journey from the big city to the like a small city, so I suggest you to use Sprinter, not IC, because IC only stop at the main station. So in terms of the journey time, so if we use the IC, it saves many time if compared with the Sprinter. And the last one is the high-speed railway. High-speed railway mostly is international connection. For example, from the Amsterdam Central, we can use the Eurostar or Thalys going to the Paris Gare du Nord. So it takes only 3 hours and stop in big cities like Brussels, Rotterdam, and the terminus is the Paris Gare du Nord. Okay, next. Now, I'm talking about the tendering for the public transport operator, especially for the railway. So the regulation of the Dutch regulation must comply with the EU concession policy. So in the Dutch Public Procurement Act, there is some regulation that comply with the EU concession policy. To do the tender, so there is a application or a platform. We call it a tender net. So the operator can apply the tender by this platform. So the process is very simple, very easy, and very transparent. So the transport authorities done in 11 provinces and 2 regions. They required to include a performance requirement when opening tenders for public transport operators by train, metro, LRT, and tram. So the operator should propose the level of service, about the capacity, about the cleanliness, about the safety standard, and so on, to follow the tender process. Okay, next. This is the concession area. So I think it shows province, yeah. I don't know exactly, but this is I think for one province is service only by one operator. So every area there are some operators that compete to apply the tender, and then government will choose one of the best to service to operate the the the, the transportation. So yeah, next. And recently there are some operators that operate the service of transportation. For the 3 cities that I said before, that especially for the Rotterdam city, the city of Amsterdam, and The Hague, they have their own operator. In Rotterdam is RET, in Amsterdam is GVB, and in The Hague is HTM. So it is the Persroda, the operators that owned by the city government. And there are some selected international operators that they apply the tender net and choose by the government to operate, like Hermes and OV Regio, Eiselman, owned by Connection, Kibus, owned by Bus Italia, Sintus, owned by the Keolis, Arriva, owned by Germany, and IBS, owned by the Israel. So this is the area that served by the operators. Next. Now I'm talking about the uniqueness of the Netherlands railway system, that mostly serviced by the tram or light rail. I think tram now is disappeared from Indonesia. I think in struggling era kemerdekaan, I think there are some tram still operated in some city in Indonesia like Jakarta, Surabaya, and Semarang, but now is disappear and replaced by the cars. But in Netherlands, especially for Amsterdam and Rotterdam and Amsterdam and Utrecht, there are trams that service
Okay, maybe there is a problem here. Yeah, we wait for the signal from Mr. Novan here. Yeah, I think there is such kind of problem in his network. Okay, we wait for him for a minute. Okay. So while we wait for Mr. Novan, we would like to give some information that what the transportation in Netherlands that has been given by Mr. Novan, and now we wait for his connection to go back to this place again. Okay. So as we know, there are many railway systems that has been some similarities with between Indonesia and also Netherlands. And we know some of the difference that has been told by Mr. Novan here, that there are such kind of network systems and also the operators and the operational speeds. And some of maybe there are some big difference between Indonesia and also Netherlands. And what is it, ProRail? What is it called in Netherlands? ProRails. And this is related about the construction and the maintenance of the railway itself in Netherlands. And also there are some high-speed railways, the information about it, and also the tender for public transport operation. Some of the uniqueness of the Netherlands system also mentioned by Mr. Novan here. So we have no such kind of similarities and also the difference between what is it, the transportation system in Indonesia and also the Netherlands. Okay, so while we wait for Mr. Novan, I guess the operator still contact him, and then we wait for a minute. Okay, while waiting for Mr. Novan, here we have Mr. Jon Echter. Okay, here he is. Right after this, he will give the second speaker. Okay. The host still contacted Mr. Novan. Okay, yeah, while we wait for Mr. Novan to join back to our webinar, so we move on to the next speaker, maybe Mr. Jon Echter. Are you here? Okay, he's here with us now. Okay, move on to the next speaker. We have the magnificent speaker, Mr. Jon Echter from Railway Safety Expert. Okay, talking about his expertise, allow me to read his personal information. Okay, Mr. Jon Echter was born in July 1955 So he lives in Verenborgen, Houston. He took early retirement as of January 2016. He is active a consultant train security. His experience was in field engineer, project leader, and lead maintenance engineer. And he has so many working experiences. 1973, he has worked in as a signaling mechanic in Dutch Railway in Utrecht. And in 1976 to 1980, as a signaling engineer in Dutch Railway in Arnhem, and in 1980 to 1995 as a chief engineering signaling in Volker Steven Rail and Traffic or Dutch Railways, and in 1999 to 1997 as assistant of the lead engineer in Volker Steven Rail and Traffic, and in 1997 to 2002 as a project leader signaling in Volker Steven Rail and Traffic. And in 2002 to 2004 as a project leader, Scene Vision in Volker Steven Rail and Traffic meet this. And in 2004 to 2005 as installation expert Utrecht in Volker Steven Rail and Traffic. And in 2005 to 2008 as a project manager in Impact. And in 2008 to 2011 as a senior specialist signaling in asset rails, and in 2011 to 2014 as a production manager in Structon Oaks, and in 2014 to 2016 as a lead maintenance engineer in Structon Rail Netherlands. And from 2016 to 2024, he is a project leader in Rail Element, the Netherlands. Okay, he also has some professional degree in all certificates needed to perform the duty as the chief engineer in the Netherlands, and also the certificates of EBS Siemens, specialist and Excel counter system, both the TELS and general electric systems, and also the certificate as internal auditor for ISO 9001-2000 with a score of 87 of the maximum of 99 points. Well, hello, Mr. Jon Echten.
Selamat sore.
Yeah,
It's still
selamat
morning
sore.
here.
Yeah, and good
Yes,
morning to
yes.
you. Selamat pagi
Yes,
to you.
thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very good. Very good.
Okay, good to hear that. Okay, so we
Okay.
have the presentation. We will have at least 20 minutes more or less. I will let you know if you have more than 20 minutes. Then.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. And all the time is yours.
Okay. Thank you. This is my presentation. Oh, let me see if I can. Okay, is it? Can you see this presentation?
Yes, we can see it clearly.
Okay. Railtrack Safety Consultancy. That is my my company here in the Netherlands, and I'm a consultant for, among others, also for ProRail here in the Netherlands. During my career, I have tried to find a solution for the safety of the tracks. So I will show you what I have come with. I have called it the Kotak Hitam Satu. It's like the black box in airplanes, of course, as you know. And it's a Railtrack condition monitor, and it can also be used as an early warning system. As you all know, the maintenance of a Railtrack is important for a safe train journey. To bring the train from A to B, it's important to know that the track is in a good condition. And to inspect the track, we can use a measuring train. We do that here in the Netherlands, and the measurement train is measuring the track every once a year, and it will measure every track every main track in the Netherlands. And between the measurements of the measuring train, a group of surveying teams will inspect visually the tracks a few times a year. This takes a lot of time and is less accurate than a measuring train, of course, because they inspect it visually. But what do we want to detect? Ambles or sagging. Like this. Longsor, landslide. I'm sure you all know what is the problem with the landslides in Indonesia. And the shift of track. So what is the concept of the Kotak Hitam 1? We want to turn every train on the track into a measuring train. And with the KH1, we can detect the ambles, the longsor, and the shift of track in time. And if we can detect the problem in time, we can solve the problem earlier. We can even plan the maintenance before it gets worse. What does the KH1 monitor? The KH1 records the location of the train, the X, Y, and Z axis of the train, like in this diagram. So every movement of the train is detected by this device. With the GPS location position of the train, the speed can be determined. So we know exactly how fast the train is going. But how does it work? Here we have the train. We have put a device in the train. The device is monitoring the movements of the train and the location. So it records the train ride. As you can see here, you can see the movements X, Y, and Z axis. The data is sent to the server via GSM. The server is the data is via internet. It goes to the server anywhere in the world. And after that, it's the data is plotted on a map. As you can see here, it's the Google map. The data collected by the device is stored on the server. And this is basically a fingerprint of the track. In 2017, my friend Widioko and I made a test ride from the train from Jakarta to Bandung. And we sent the data to a colleague of mine in the Netherlands via GSM. And he sent us back. He put the data into our the railway map, and he sent us back. This is a device, the KH1. As you can see, it's very small. This is the actual size. We had 3 of the devices put in front of us on the floor of the train. And then we recorded the train ride between Manggarai and Cikarang. As you can see here on the railway map. And this is the result of the track. We plotted it in real time on the Google map. and there it is. As you can see here, this is the train ride, and we did just a few kilometers of this track, recorded it. Here you can see all the data, even the humidity, the temperature is recorded, the speed, the average speed, the top speed, all is recorded. And then we did the recording of the X, Y, and Z axis. You can see it here. Here's the X, Y, and Z axis shown on the map. Here you have the speed at this point, 26 kilometers. And these are the G forces, because that is what we do. We collect the G forces of the train. And then the data can be let me see, by the maintenance engineer. They can look into the data. And then the maintenance crew can be directed to the problem and can solve the problem of the issue. Because we show it in the Google map, you can also send the maintenance people via Google to the exact point where they have the problem. The approach of the KH1 system. Turn every train into a measuring train. Build a database of every track. Compare the X, Y, and Z axis movements data of each train ride in the database. Notice every train change in the normal pattern. Why do we need the KH1? With the KH1, we know that we can, the maintenance engineer got a tool to keep the track in good condition. With the KH1, the proper maintenance can be planned without train delay. And the field engineers can be guided to the right place. Maintenance can get more economical by handling the big peaks first. The more measurements, the better the overview of the track. So how is this device useful? It acts as an early warning system for all malfunctions in the track. Near real-time insights in the track conditions. You can collect data about comfort of the train journeys of every track. It provides real-time positioning of each train. It provides data about the actual track use, resulting in a better focus and planning of maintenance work of the rail track. It benchmark experience on different rail tracks. It provides data to support decisions that were previously based on assumptions or visual inspections. The benefits of the system. The hardware is very cheap. It costs almost nothing per device. And it can be produced by Indonesian companies. The software, it can also be developed by Indonesian companies. It could be the start of a new monitoring system, completely owned by Indonesian companies. Of course, we only did one test drive, and of course there were some problems that we have seen that need to be solved. The transmission of the data is done by GPS signal and by GSM. But we need to find a solution for both the signals in tunnels. And we also need to find the right companies to build and develop the device. We need full cooperation of the Indonesian railways. Real-time monitoring is a step into the future. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you so much for the incredible presentation, and thank you so much for the effort for giving such kind of Indonesian word, so we can easily understand about the problems and also some of the words in Bahasa easily. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yon Echter, for the time.
Yeah.
So now we will move on to the next agenda. This is for discussion. So we would like to all of the participants who wants to ask to Mr. Yon Echter or Mr. Novan, you can raise your hand. When some of you who are in this Zoom meeting, you can use the feature raise hand in Zoom, so I can notice if you want to ask to the speakers. Okay, if you don't want to raise your hands up, so you can type the question right in the chat box of the Zoom meeting. Okay, you can use your raise hand feature in Zoom meeting to ask to the speakers. Okay. Okay, here we have one question, I guess. Yes, we have Poltrada Bali here. Okay, someone in Poltrada Bali raised his hand and he want to ask, please. But before giving the question, we would like to ask you to give your name and where you are from, and to whom the question is given to. Okay. Yes,
Okay,
please.
thank you for the time that you give for me. Let
Yeah.
me introduce myself. My name is Stefan Haridi and I'm from Poltrada Bali. And I want to ask my question to Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat. Let me ask my question. From your presentation, what kind of innovation, technology, and types of transportation from the Netherlands transportation can be implied on Indonesian land transportation? Thank you. That just for my question. I think, and I want to your answer or a good answer for my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for very good question here, Stephen Hardy. Okay, we have another chance to ask for the second speaker here because we have one question already for Mr. Novan. So I would like to all of the participants here, if any one of you want to ask to Mr. Mr. Yon here. Okay, here we go. We have one person joined with us here. Okay, please mention your name and where you are from.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good
Let me
afternoon.
introduce myself. I am Middle Cadet Yevgen Asvirda from Indonesia Railway Polytechnic. I would ask for what sensor do you use in this tool, and can this tool be used for all types of train in Indonesia?
Yes, it's possible for every kind of transportation in Indonesia, even cars, even taxis or buses. You can use it always use it everywhere. It's just a general tool to measure the movements of every object you can imagine.
What about the sensor, Mister? What sensor that used in this tool?
You can use every sensor that can measure the G-forces. So it can be done by some device controlled by Arduino or whatever kind of. It's not about the device. It's about what you do with it, it's about the concept behind the use of the device. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, okay. I see.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Okay, thank you so much, Yevgen, from PPI Madiun. So he already asked about, I think he is very curious in building this kind of sensor, or can say it Kotak Hitam, and he maybe wants to applied it in Indonesia, especially maybe for Indonesian Railway Polytechnic itself. Okay, so we still wait for Mr. Novan to join with us here. So I will keep the question from Stephen Hardy here. So maybe is there any other question that is given to Mr. Yon here? You can raise your hands up, or you can type in the chat box. Okay, if you want to ask in Bahasa, I would like to, translated in English if you want to. Okay, there is someone in Volta everybody who raised the hand. Yes, please. Don't forget to give me your name and the college that you are from. Okay, yes, please.
For the time, Miss, let me introduce myself. My name is Ras Dr. Ramadan Lubis. I'm from Ultrada Bali. I have a question for Mr. John Hector. This is my question. How does the Netherlands integrate trains to every corner of the region to become connected? Thank you. That's all about my question. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ramadan, for the question from Volta Bali. Okay, here is the question. Also, how does the system is connected from all over the Netherlands? He wants to know about it, related about it to Mr. Yon.
I'm not sure if I did understand the question. What system do you mean?
Yeah, maybe such kind of connection system that is connected from one place to another place in Netherlands area, so we can know what is it.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the Netherlands, we use the train for the long distances. And then after that, at the station of arrival, there's always another type of transport waiting for you, maybe a bus or a taxi, or even you can rent a bicycle to go to the place you really want to be. You know, so it's very for the long distances we use the train, and for the short distances we use the bus or the automobile or whatever transport it's necessary.
Oh, okay. So there are some such kind of integrated system from the
Yes,
train to if you
very
want to
integrated.
travel. Okay,
Yeah.
very integrated. So
Bus
that's
waits.
the
Yeah, the bus always waits for the train to arrive, and after that the bus leaves with the passengers to go to the other place. So it's very integrated.
Okay, so to connect that between one transportation to another transportation, so we can use it such kind of integrated transportation in Netherlands, in all over Netherlands. Maybe that we can adapt in Indonesia. Maybe somehow there are so many transportation that has been applied in Indonesia too, but there are still many challenges for us to have integration in our transportation. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yon Esther, for the answer. And is there any one of you in the chat box who wants to ask? Okay, here we have another question from PTD STTD who raised the hands. Okay, yes, please. Yeah, you can stand up in the middle. Move aside, please, so I can see your face. Yes. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, senior. My name is Suryadara. I was curious about this book technology, but there is something more I want to know about. That is, what is the benefit of measurement of defaults in black hole one? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Wardana, right, for the question from STTD, PTDI, STTD. Okay, so here is the question. He is very curious about the technology that has been used for making this kind of black box, sir. So he want to ask what are the advantages from this black box, especially for the black box that you have been made here. So is there any kind of the advantages from this kind of things?
The way I see it, the benefit of this system is that you, after every train that has passed a track, you can see the condition of the track. So if you have a lot of trains monitoring the track, you can also see if it's going down, if it's degrading, the track is degrading. So you have the possibility to take actions to maintain your track and bring it back to the right condition. So you can always, and you always know that it's safe for the train to pass with a certain speed. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you have to slow the train to. You cannot ride the train with the same speed as it was the track was designed for. We noticed that with our train ride we did from Jakarta to Bandung, and the track was designed for 120 kilometers, but the highest speed we did was only 90 kilometers because the track was not so good, was bad.
Okay,
So
Mhm.
yeah, so that was what we noticed, and I think if you put a cheap system like this into every train, you can do very good for the track conditions in Indonesia.
Okay. Thank you so much for the answer, Mr. Yon Esther. Okay, that's the answer for let's see, Wardana. For Wardana. Okay, so there are some benefits, so many benefits from this kind of black box. We can easily make it by the system and also by the tools that already in Indonesia. So we just find out who is the right operators who made it and to develop it. Okay, that will be a really new monitoring system for Indonesia, as we know that there are so many things that is from airplane, and another transportation that can be easily used for railways.
Mhm.
Okay. So we have, we still have 4 minutes left. There is one person who raised the hands here. Okay. So I would like to ask, from PKTJ, Muhammad Zaki. Okay, Muhammad Zaki, are you with us? Yeah, maybe you can still mute.
First of all, am I audible?
Yes,
Okay,
you're
first of
audible.
all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Zaki Wicaksono, and I'm from Polytechnic of Road Transportation Safety. Mr. John Hector said that the data was given by the sensors of the Kotak Hitam system. There is a G-force data, and I would like an explanation of how would the G-force data explain the condition of the track itself. Thank you.
The G-force data, it's you can see it as a cup of tea in your train. When the train ride is very rough, the cup of tea will overflow, you know. So because of the G-forces, it's giving from the train to that cup of tea. So the G-forces says something about the movement of the train from left to right, from up and down. So this G-forces, if you know how much the G-forces are, then you can compare it on the whole track and for every train. And then you can see the peaks, the highest level of the G-forces, and you have to pick that G-forces, pick it out, and probably there is a problem on that particular spot. But then you have to send your maintenance crew to that spot and look at the place itself to see what is going on. It only is a warning that something is wrong, not exactly on every millimeter of the track, but you know in that area there is a problem, and then you can send your maintenance crew to see what is going on there, what is happening there. It's not quite a measurement train. It's just a warning system, you know? Does that answer your question?
Okay, Zaki, is that answer your question? Okay, yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Zaki, for the question. Also, Mr. Johan Echter for the answer. Okay, we have one more question from the chat box. Is that okay, Mr. Johan Echter, for this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so there is one question from Dia Ulhak here. She's from PKTJ Tegal. What's the challenge of the system doing his job in different geographical location at different countries? As we know that geographical location and track conditions are different of each countries.
I will read also what's the challenge of the system doing his job in different and track conditions. Yes, of course. We have in the Netherlands we have a very soft underground. So it's like thick water. In Indonesia, it's a very hard, rocky underground, but you also have problems with landslides, the longsors. That's the main problem in Indonesia. And I think if you use this system, you can even see a longshore coming. So just by measuring with every train, you could see the gradients going down, and then that's the benefit of this system. And another benefit is it's very cheap, and you can expand it because I would like to have to keep it in Indonesian development. So it's easy to maintain this device for you. It's very cheap. It's just, yeah. It's only nobody ever thought about it like this. That's so. It's very good. Only there is some problems with the locations, of course, as I mentioned in my presentation, like in tunnels, or there is no connection with the internet. Yes, but that is something that can be solved. That's not quite yeah. It's not difficult to solve that. But it takes experts in the course of connections with the internet, and you have a lot of experts in Indonesia about that. So that can be solved also.
Okay. Okay. I hope it will answer the question from Yaul Haq here from PKTJ Tegal. So yes, he said, thank you so much for the answer. Okay. So here is due to the time limitation, I do apologize for not giving a chance of or reading the question from all of the participants here. So we are here in the end of our discussion here, but I would like to summarize that railway safety is very crucial by using this kind of new monitoring system by making such kind of black box as one of the device and software for railway. We can detect the problem in time, minimize the accident, and also knowing what was happened if there were an accident and what it is for, and of course to make Indonesian zero accident. Okay, thank you so much for active participation to all of the participants in this webinar. And would like to say our biggest gratitude to the amazing speakers today. We have Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat and also Mr. John Echter here. Thank you so much, sir, for the sharing knowledge, for the information, and of course, that the knowledge that you were sharing with us, this is very useful for us. And hopefully we can make this kind of black box, a simple black box for trial in Indonesia. Okay. And I do apologize for the mistake during the meeting. I hope we can meet in another occasion and stay healthy there.
Thank you.
Okay, the discussion is over and I hand over this webinar to our beautiful Master of Ceremony, Anissa Meliana.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Armita, for bringing us to the interesting discussion. This is what very insightful discussion that happened because the cat is also active and excited to ask the question. And now, as a token of our appreciation, I would like to hand over a certificate for our speakers and moderator. So for the first one, to our speaker, Mr. Novan Wahyu Hidayat, here's the certificate for him. Because he has an issue in his area, there's a blackout, so here's the certificate. And for the next one is also for our speaker, Mr. John Echter.
Thank you.
Here's the certificate for you. Thank you. And the last one is to our moderator, Mrs. Armita Puspitasari. Here's the certificate.
Thank you so much, Anissa.
Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, finally, we have come to the end of our event this evening, a webinar knowledge sharing, Railtrack, condition monitor, and early warning system. And for your information, the material of presentation is already sent on the chat. So if you want to keep the material, you can download it on the chat. Please recheck again. And of course, the e-certificate will be delivered via email in your email that has registered. All right, to the presentation and discussion, we have grabbed the main idea about railway safety. Once again, thank you so much for the speakers, moderator, and also all the participants. From the depths of my heart, I do apologize for any mistake in presenting this event. Thank you so much for your participation. Anissa Meliana Sapitri is signing out. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in another chance, everyone.
Seiring dengan visi negara untuk memajukan transportasi Indonesia, maka dibutuhkan ketersediaan sumber daya manusia yang ahli dan profesional di bidang transportasi. Pusat Pengembangan SDM Perhubungan Darat membina 5 politeknik dan 1 balai untuk menyelenggarakan pendidikan dan pelatihan ahli transportasi darat yang siap menghadapi kemajuan pesat bidang transportasi darat dan perkeretaapian di Indonesia. Di antaranya, Politeknik Transportasi Darat Indonesia, STTD Bekasi. Politeknik Keselamatan Transportasi Jalan, PKTJ Tegal. Politeknik Transportasi Sungai, Danau, dan Penyeberangan Poltek Trans SDP Palembang. Politeknik Perkeretaapian Indonesia, PPI Madiun. Politeknik Transportasi Darat, Poltrada Bali. Balai Pendidikan dan Pelatihan Transportasi Darat BP2TD Mempawah. Mari bergabung bersama kami untuk menjadi bagian dari insan perhubungan Indonesia. Bersama membangun transportasi darat dan perkeretaapian di Indonesia yang maju demi masa depan dan kemajuan bangsa.